This is the dawning of a brand new day for me, as this is my first YouTube video. I've been toying with this idea for a while now. I was never sure of a topic I wanted to go with. Then I was out with a friend one night, and she just was like diving, like, of course, and so anyway, that's what I'm going to focus on. However, it's just more, I'm going to show you what a knucklehead from Philly does with his time when he moves to South Florida, and this is my first video, so I really overthought like how I should introduce myself and what I could tell you, but I think I'm just going to jump right in and take you for a dive, and I'll tell you the story along the way, I guess, maybe, Anyway, let's go for a dive. See you out there. So come join me as I go diving, driving, and droning around South Florida and beyond. Yo, let's do this. Today is the quintessential winter Florida day. It's like coming up on about 80 degrees. Water's still a little cold, 78 degrees. That is cold. But I'm going to get out there and blow some bubbles, as they say. And I'll show you one of my favorite dive sites down here. One of the reasons I'm here in Florida. This week I had a lot going on, so I didn't even plan on doing any diving. I didn't even look, didn't even pay attention to the water, didn't pay attention to the waves, the currents, anything like that. And then I happened to be at the beach yesterday. I stopped to talk to a friend, and I saw that it was just beautiful. The water was just glass, just absolutely beautiful. And so I planned on going dive in this morning. I reached out to a friend of mine. He's always out there bright and early in the morning. I called. We were going to go for a sunrise dive. I called him. He called me back. We missed each other, and then before you knew it, the sun was coming up. I went out and flew the drone for a minute, watching the sunrise. But it was cold this morning. Man, was it cold out there! And so I decided to just call it and crawl back into a warm bed. So I was off to the dive shop to grab a couple tanks. I have one tank that I left there to get filled up, but I was also going to rent another tank because my friend and I have a tentative dive later on this evening. I was going to do a night dive. I was doing this dive during the day and do another dive at night. One during the day, I'm not gonna be out there long, so I got a smaller tank, and then my tank that I picked up is pretty big, holds a lot of air, and I was saving that for tonight. It's great living just like 10 minutes from the beach, and that's the great thing about South Florida. Like, you can go diving right off the beach, you just swim right out there, and there's coral reef right out there. If you ever go to the beach and you see the dark water, that's a coral reef. I got there and I wanted to get the drone in the air, because this is an amazing spot. This is called Perry Street in Hollywood, Florida. And Perry Street boulders is what they say. Right offshore, about 200 yards, you have these big giant boulders, and I don't know how they got there. I've Googled all over. I can't find out how it got there, but somewhere probably in the last 50 or 60 years, somebody took a bunch of boulders out there, about 300 yards of it, 300 yards by maybe 50 yards, and put them all out there, and the reef and coral has grown over them, and it's just an amazing dive, And the water this day, I really wanted to get the drone up there because it was just absolutely amazing, stunning. It's rarely you see it like that, Well, you see it like that a lot, but rarely this perfect. I mean, there's just absolutely no murk, just perfect visibility. I wanted to get the drone over it and see what I could see from up on top. I'm used to seeing it down in it, swimming through it and everything. And I had some nice surprises along the way. Like, look at that guy. There's lots of sea turtles down here in South Florida, especially here on Hollywood Beach. It's like a nesting spot for them. If you look real close, up to the left there, I don't know if you want to rewind, there's a jellyfish, and I hear that turtles like to eat jellyfish, sea turtles. But I was bringing the drone down because it was time to gear up for the dive. It's always a little bit of work, you know, 100 little things to make sure you got going and are working properly, of course. You know, you want to make sure everything's working properly. Breathing underwater, you know. Putting on and taking off a wetsuit is a drag, but it is great because I get to swim all winter long. You know, that was one of the coolest things that happened when I first started diving. And down here, you know, don't kid yourself, this is tropical water down here. It's just absolutely beautiful water. Like, kicking out is some of the greatest exercise, some of the first exercise I did in years, you know, when I first started diving. But especially on a day like today, the water was a little chilly, but still just stunning. You know, I just love being in that water. It's really kind of one of the top reasons I'm down here. That's called a moon jelly. They can be really intimidating. They're about the size of a volleyball. First time I saw one, he had about 100 of his buddies with him. I jumped in the water, wasn't paying attention, looked around and saw all them just within arm's length of me, and I almost walked on water. Turns out they don't sting. You know, they might irritate your skin a little bit if they rub around you, and they do, you know, but you don't actually get a sting or a burn or anything like that. It's still creepy as heck, you know, having a big giant jellyfish wrap around your leg. I stepped on one on the beach recently. There was one on the beach. I didn't realize it like wrapped around my foot, and you know, I was out there doing like a double time Irish jig. It was probably comical. Oh, that glass ceiling. I just don't get tired of tropical fish and being in there. It's like swimming around in an aquarium. I love it. It's fantastic. It's a feeling that's hard to explain. Inside that hole, there's like a tiny eel or something in there. Pufferfish are so cool. And like, you look at them and they look like they got a little smile and eyes, and almost like they're gonna talk to you. You know, like they got a personality or something. Although fish do play, I have found that out. They play, they sleep. These guys there, the French angelfish, they play. They'll come and play in your bubbles, and it's pretty cool. I have some on video. I'll share it in a video sometime. I ended up going up on shore and just kind of sitting in 3 or 4 feet of water for about an hour, just kind of chilling out, relaxing. I was on the shore longer than I was in the water. It was time to wrap it up and get out of there because I still want to go home and get things together for the night dive later on in a couple hours. Like I said, peeling out of your gear is not always fun. Well, getting out of that wetsuit is not fun. I put a tarp in the back of I don't have a truck or anything, you know, so I put a tarp in the back of my trunk because that salt water will get nasty and smelly really fast. So you got to take the gear home and wash it, you know, clean it, you dunk it in Stearamine, or a little bit of bleach water or whatever. But yeah, so that's how I get through. Anyway, so another really fun dive, solid dive. I want to point out I am not a dive instructor. I'm not here to give advice or instruction. I'm just here to take people along and show them what it's like to dive around South Florida and hopefully, you know, beyond at some point, you know. But South Florida is just it's like the mecca of diving, just so many dive spots, so many wrecks and things like that, you know, I plan to go and film. And hopefully you'll come and join me and come along and check it out. This is my first YouTube video, so I don't even know how to, you know, put the buttons and stuff. But, you know, if you enjoyed this, you know, like and subscribe, hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next one. I certainly enjoyed doing this so far, and I'm going to be putting up a video every other Thursday for the foreseeable future. So come and join me, and thanks for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.